we talked about CNN and the big corporations where their viewership is going down, and then people like Joe Rogan, their podcast, which he's on episode like 2000, and they're starting to. Joe Rogan's probably been having higher viewer counts than all the major medias. Like, can you tell me why you think that is?
Think about this: when there is someone that you disagree with, you don't want to watch it, but you're going to watch it because you want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
So then you can go to a restaurant the next day and you're with your friends and you're like, oh my God, that idiot Joe Rogan, he just said this.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, Joe Rogan might not even believe half of the stuff he says.
Yeah.
It's getting a reaction though.
Yeah, true.
It is getting a reaction, but it's hard to be neutral for some people.
Casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
This episode is brought to you by Subway. What's good, everybody? It's 99 miles per hour podcast with me, your host, Percy Garner. And we got a guest that was on the show about a year ago, sort of. And, I had to have him back, because he's doing big things now. But before we get to the guest, I just wanted to, talk about a few things, like the new merch that I said was coming. It's still coming. I promise it's going to get there. But the merch is all tied to my scholarship program to a Dover student. I didn't want to mention Dover, but I got to. So it's going to go to a Dover student. If you want to help out a student with college, then go ahead and get some merch. We got the push, that's pray until something happens. And we also have the 99 miles per hour podcast merch. So please go there. It is store.percygarner.com. Go there. We got some, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I know I haven't updated in a while, but I think it's all right, and has some crop tops up there for the girls, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I also want to give a shout out to Subway and the Fitzgerald family. Thank you for making this podcast possible and for closing out the Rainbow Connection Telethon with me. That was a great day. I guess I got to say something about the telethon, right? I mean, it was Sunday. It was great. We raised just under $270,000. Didn't meet the goal. And also didn't beat last year, but, still got a generous community. We're still able to do everything that we want. We're still able to continue our mission, and that's help those that are disabled and disadvantaged in the Tuscarawas County area. So we're still going on. Mission still continues, and now I got work to do. We got to find people that we can use this money. We need projects. We need clients coming in and asking for money. Doesn't seem too hard, but let's get it done. All right. Before, I know I look like a Dover football coach right now. I'm sorry, but and I need a haircut, but so does our guest. So
You're right.
Today we got entrepreneur, journalist, speaker. The list goes on, but you guys all know him, Jordan Miller.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I got you on the show.
Man, it's good to be here. It's good to be here.
I mean, it's been a while. I watched our show just to, because I was like, what? I know we talked about everything you're doing, in the news space and just the popularity of your profile on Facebook and your social media presence and all the experiences you had from being hired in your dream job right when you graduate high school. How many people could say that? Mm-hmm. And also from, where you're from and all that. So it was good to catch up on that. But now we all passed that, and we want to hear what you're doing now. But before we get into that, just like I said, I don't want to call you a content creator, but I consider myself one, and you make content, and obviously your content is very popular. People love it. I love it. And, I think it's pretty cool. But like, what I want to ask you is, what type of content do you like making? Like, where you're excited, you're just like, ooh, I can't wait to do this. I know the death of Kobe, mm-hmm. that was pretty cool to cover. Obviously a sad moment, but I just want to hear from you. What do you like doing?
Yeah, I mean, usually like big breaking news. It is someone's tragedy, but my following's grown so much now that even when I'm on scene at events like that, people are happy to see me because then I'm nipping any rumor in the bud.
Okay.
I'm putting out, if there was a big fire, I speak to the homeowner. I speak to the fire department. And we just put the information right out there. Before, I didn't have a website when you and I did this. It was just a Facebook page with 20-something thousand followers. Well, since then, I've launched a website that's been pretty successful, and people just go there. It's on my Facebook as well, and then they can read all the details, look at videos, look at photos, and stuff like that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to do because people appreciate it. And we're trying to put local news back on the map. We're not trying to reinvent it.
Yeah.
We're trying to make it something that people care about and they talk about again.
Well, I think that's pretty cool because I see you come up on my Facebook page because on my actual 99 miles per hour page, I only follow like you and the Indians. So all I see is, well, Guardians. I only see you guys. So I see a lot of the stories, and I know this is an old story, but you get people that send you stuff too. So you get like some footage that no one else would get. And I think that just goes to show the type of following you have in the audience and the supporters you have. So I think that's pretty cool. But I think it's awesome because, I don't want to, bash any other news outlets, but even the big national brands that we've known forever, it just seems like their viewership is going down. And, someone like yourself, or I know there's reporters that their skills are getting recognized, and it's not just a face of a big brand, but it's just like, okay, this person, they're authentic and they're giving me news, and I can tell it's unbiased. That's the biggest thing, the authentic news. So when you have any stuff posted on your Facebook and I'm like looking at it, I can see why people enjoy it and subscribe to it or like and follow. So contrary to the question I just asked you, I know you just told us what you like making. What do you think? What's the content that your viewers, your audience, your supporters like seeing the most?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. They do like to know what's going on down the road from them. So if there was that big fire, kind of like I just said, they want to see that. They want to know whose house it was. And people are nosy. And that's fine. I mean, you could be as nosy as you want to be, but with social media, people have forgotten how to respect others, True. And it's like, I put out this news, I put out this content, and then people, they just immediately, they start bashing other people and stuff. And for some reason, unfortunately, I feel like there's people out there who they enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it, but they enjoy that kind of news content. And it's weird. Political stuff, oh my gosh. People can say that they don't want to see political stuff, but the moment you put it out there, it gives them a reason to chirp. Yeah. And they do, and they argue. And that's why I stay away. Yeah. Try my best to at least stay away from politics.
I've noticed that is because you really, like, if you wanted to, you could exploit politics to get more followers and just talk about all that stuff, but obviously you feel like you have a purpose and you want to bring news to, because it was dying down. Big corporations are buying out places around here, and it's hard for us to get just straight to the point for Tuscarawas County, Carroll County, all the counties surrounding us, just direct news about what's going on, because yes, people are nosy, but also that's how people help others as well. I know there was some fires in our area that have happened, and if there wasn't news coverage, then they wouldn't know who to reach out to help them. Like, I know I'm involved with the church, and they kind of have communications with the fire department, so they can go, hey, we want to help this person as a church. So that's also a good thing. I know you can go down in your comments and you can see, the bickering and all that stuff.
I try not to read. Yeah. I try not to read the comments as much anymore.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, even Russell Westbrook just was talking about how finally all these nicknames that he's getting, it's actually affecting him and his family. I mean, I thought it was all fun and games, but then when you see him talking, he's like, people calling him Westbrick, it's really having an effect on his family, like his wife and his kid or whatever. It's kind of crazy, but if someone like that can be affected, imagine, locally, if someone's bashing someone in your comments, it can obviously have an effect on their life.
But the thing is, these people, they look up to him, but they're the first to tear him down. But then the moment they do something he likes, they'll be right there for him. And as public figures, we run into that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your following, I have my following, and the major celebrities have their following. But what I've come to learn is that these people that have an issue with you, when it comes to face-to-face, they won't say anything.
No.
They won't.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but they will keep their mouths shut, but they feel as though because they see you doing this podcast, they've watched you on TV pitching for the Guardians, which is still weird to say, but because they've seen you playing professional baseball and they've seen me either on TV, speaking, doing whatever, they feel as though they know you and that they can say whatever they want to you.
That's true.
And it can weigh on you heavy.
Yeah.
It can, but that's the day and age we're in. Social media, nothing like it. It's a blessing and it's a curse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
That's true.
If I didn't have my platform, my job, I don't think I'd be on it.
Really?
Yeah. If I had no purpose.
I mean, it makes sense. I know I have to kind of force myself to post, like we were just talking about before we started the show. You know, my job is to make clips about this show, and because Josh edits the whole podcast. And, you know, from time to time, maybe 75% of the time, I don't, do the, the things that you need to do to be a content creator. And that's make, the extra short form, because short form content is what's taken over the world. I even know that Disney Plus and all them have these shorts now. So that's when you're like, okay, this is getting real. The big corporations are starting to understand, like, okay, no longer are kids wanting to sit here and watch this 1.5 to 2 hour movie. We have to make Toy Story, and we have to take these and make shorts. So have you delved into the short form content? Are you on TikTok, the Reels on Instagram? Are you doing anything with that?
So I recently did a speaking event, and I spoke for 20 minutes or so, and someone recorded it for me, and I took 50 seconds of it, and I posted it on TikTok. Now, I don't know how many views or anything it has, but I have talked with people I know. I'm like, hey, I will give you money if you could just manage my TikTok for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you see me talking, or maybe you can come up with the creative way to incorporate my news into TikTok or suggest something for me, I'd love to dive into it, but that takes a lot of work, and people don't understand manage social media is a full-time job.
Yes.
Full-time job.
Yes. And Josh knows, because Josh posts his stuff on TikTok, and, I've been trying to be more well-rounded because I love YouTube. I'm not a typical consumer on YouTube. A lot of people like, a lot of people, I think they go to YouTube when they want to learn something. But me, I literally watch YouTube like it's television. That's where I get all my sports. I follow ESPN, and I see their, obviously you got the First Takes and other networks that have like Undisputed with Shannon and Skip. I watch all that on YouTube. Like, I don't have cable. So, So it's kind of a weird world we're in now, where social media and content creators are kind of taking over.
I agree.
And I know I wanted to ask you about this, just came up. Well, I've kind of included it in what I wanted to talk about, but like, we talked about CNN and the big corporations where their viewership is going down, and then people like Joe Rogan, their podcast, which he's on episode like 2000, and they're starting to. Joe Rogan's probably been having higher viewer counts than all the major medias. Like, can you tell me why you think that is, or can you tell me, like, did you see this coming, or like, what do you think about all that?
Well, it's objective. Like, think about this. When there is someone that you disagree with, you don't want to watch it, but you're going to watch it because you want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
So then you can go to a restaurant the next day, and you're with your friends, and you're like, oh my God, that idiot Joe Rogan, he just said this.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, Joe Rogan might not even believe half of the stuff he says.
Yeah.
It's getting a reaction, though.
Yeah, true.
It is getting a reaction, but it's hard to be neutral for some people.
Yeah, and nuance. You can't have nuance. You got to be this or that.
Yeah.
So
hard to be. But, now I'm on the radio in Canton on 1480 WHBC from 10 to noon.
Okay.
That allows me to be a little bit more objective. Like, if I have an opinion, I can do it. I try to stay away from it some, but I field calls every day. People are saying, I got
to listen to this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get some calls and people that completely disagree or they completely agree. At the end of the day, they're all listening.
That's what's up.
And I have repeat callers who like, oh, well, I didn't agree with what you said yesterday or today. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Do you open discussions sometimes, or because I'm obviously you probably research a lot of stuff you're talking about, and then some people they might just say no, that's wrong, but I really have no evidence or anything to back it up. But do you have someone who you're like, hey, well, why do you feel that way?
Yeah, well, if I'll say gun control, if I ever say gun on my radio show, all of the phone lines light up. But I'll be talking like, hey, I have my CCW. I carry a concealed weapon with me most of the time, but I don't agree with this law. Yeah. I don't agree with this new law that's coming out. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that we should be able to just carry a gun without getting a concealed carry permit? Do you think that I should be able to carry a gun on my hip and have it covered up? Or my wife should be able to carry one in her purse without a concealed carry permit? And then I pose it as a question.
Yeah.
And then just like that, they start coming. They start calling. And some people agree. Some people disagree. Some people will call and say that they disagreed with the last person who called. And I'm the man in the middle. Yeah. But I enjoy fielding those questions and their concerns. But I'm also very neutral because I respect anyone's opinion. Yeah. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your views are on gun restriction, gun control. If you have an opinion, let's talk about it and explain to me why you believe in your opinion.
Yeah, I like that. That's like another level because on my show here, I use it to learn stuff, obviously, and I like talking to people that I'm interested in and kind of ask them questions and see their outlook. Because like you said, people like to hear from the opposite side of, their opinion. And I stay neutral on a lot of things. Just, I feel like it's safer that way, especially having content. So I feel like that's a good idea. And I would love, I kind of like asking questions and seeing what people think, even when I'm on Twitter. Very rare do I say, only time I really have a strong opinion is if it's an obvious opinion. Like, oh, John Morant just scored 50 points. That was a great performance.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm not going to have anyone say, no, it was terrible. So,
well, he scored 50 points because,
unless it's LeBron. People will find out something wrong with LeBron.
Yeah.
Like my little brother, if you're watching, LeBron hater extraordinaire. That's him. He'll find anything about LeBron where he's just like, And I'm like, man, use that energy to, make money. Why using that energy to hate on somebody you've never met or anything? Right. But I think it's a slippery slope. And today, I feel like back in the 90s, you can be more opinionated, but there wasn't so much access, like you talked about earlier, to figures, public figures. No one knew what Michael Jordan was really doing. Mm-hmm. He even said he would not be able to survive in today's NBA. He just wouldn't with social media and all the access people have. Because part of the Michael Jordan myth was, you only saw him on the court really. Now what LeBron's doing. Taco Tuesday. He's got his kids, so he's going to all his kids' games, and he's in. Jordan was in Space Jam. That's another story.
Yeah, but today it's easier to be a celebrity because everyone thinks that they have some kind of clout.
Yeah, people
think that they have some kind of clout, and I would have loved to have grown up in the 80s and 90s without this. It can be addicting. Yeah. And then as you create more content, you feel bad if you don't create more content.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not doing what I need to do. Yeah. That's why we talked about I'm not, I don't do what I should be doing. My end of the bargain with Josh here. But sometimes I do it. You make it easy for me, but sometimes it's hard. I didn't know, especially when I took this job as the executive director at the Rainbow Connection. I was like, oh yeah, social media, I'm gonna blow the social media up. Maybe I could have blew it up if this was 2012, 2013, but there's so much content out there now that you're competing with for people's attention. It's rough, but like you said, way more people can be celebrities now. The people on like YouTube and stuff, I feel like growing up, like we were always looking up to athletes or
Oh,
actors and actresses and stuff like that. And now it's like, my son even says he wants to be a YouTuber. Like that wasn't part of that wasn't even a thing. So,
well, it's like you say a YouTuber, and the first time I heard that, I said, no, like you need a real job.
yeah.
Now I would never tell anyone that because I've made my life's earning for the last few years independently putting out content. And the only reason I have any kind of income coming in is because I have such a large following.
Yeah.
And at first I'm like, how these people aren't making money off of YouTube. And then boy, was I wrong. I mean, there's a kid who I think he gets like millions of dollars for unpackaging toys.
Yeah. If you're talking about Ryan, he has his own show now.
Is it Ryan's World?
Yeah.
Yeah. My little I have a 4-year-old brother.
He used to make, I don't know what he's doing now, but at one point on YouTube, probably sponsorships included, 45 million. He made that in one of his years. So I don't know if his parents are working, but congrats to you, Ryan.
They're not.
They're probably just helping him make his content, which is just now he has his own show, I think, on Nickelodeon or something. So that's crazy.
No. It's not fair. It's like look, don't get me mad about this. I mean, I really put in the time and effort, and I'm not close to 45 million yet. No, but it is easier to do it. Like, and I've said this before, I don't know if I would be where I am today if I didn't have access to social media. I had someone tell me at a seminar last January, Jordan, I'm a marketer. I've done this, but I made myself famous is what she told me. She said, I took as much media as I could get for free. And she said, I made myself famous and then everybody wanted a piece of it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not saying that I do that, but it's something that I keep in the back of my head.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, make yourself famous, whatever, maybe locally.
Yeah.
There's a celebrity following.
For sure.
I mean, I go down to Florida. I mean, there's nothing,
Yeah.
But
that's nice though.
I
always used to pray, like, God, I want to be an all-star Cy Young Award winner, but I want to be able to go to like the grocery store and no one like recognize me or say anything. I don't know if that's possible to do all that, but baseball, if there was a sport to do all that, would be baseball. But it didn't pan out. I'm still a celebrity in Ohio, I think.
Yeah.
Dover for sure.
I mean, around here, I mean, I would say that you and I have the boat. Like, if you were to go in a grocery store or whatever, I mean, people are going to notice you.
Yeah,
I mean, we stand out for a couple different reasons.
Just a few.
You can't pinpoint them. But there have been times where we've been in a Florida and somebody has spotted me and my wife.
Really? That's
and
what's up.
She's like, no, we came down. We didn't come here for this, Jordan. I'm like, I didn't ask for people to be down here. But
you can't be, you got to be nice.
Yeah.
You're looked at as a public figure, and you can't be, I mean, there's some people that don't care and just do it, but
it's about how you respond to them. And I've told my wife that if I have someone come up to me in public, I don't care how annoyed I am as nice as I can be to that person, because that is what they are forever going to remember. I don't want them to go home and say, oh man, I met Jordan Miller today. He was a real jackwagon or whatever. I don't want that persona. I don't want people to feel that way about me when they meet me. Yeah. So when you are a public figure and you meet a fan, a follower, or whatever, the nicer you are, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
There are some people who they have that mindset, well, I have this much money or this many people know me. I can act however I want, or I don't have time to talk to you. If I have the time, I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah.
If I don't have the time, I'll still talk to you.
I was about to say, ask my wife, I still talk.
Yeah. Yeah. If I don't have the time, I'll still talk, but it'll be very short and I'm going to let you know. And most people that follow me, because I'm very open, they'll say, oh, well, thank you, Mr. Miller. You're very busy. We know you're very busy.
Yeah, and that's what's up, man. I think it's pretty amazing, and I'm glad that, Amanda Lutz was like, hey, there's this guy down in Carrollton. Or from Carrollton. You should probably like get him on your podcast. And then here we are. So
yeah, and we've done some other events together. We did Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah,
the
you
gala.
hosted that. That was what's up. That was fun. Yeah,
that was fun.
And it's a beautiful event at the Brighton Bar. What's it called? The Tool Shed.
Yeah.
And Big Brothers Big Sisters is obviously an amazing organization, and that was pretty cool to see you in that.
I'm on the board. I'm not sure if you knew. I'm a board member, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed doing that. We got to dress up. It was the theme and all that. Yeah. So it was fun.
It was. My aunt, she went all in.
I'm jealous, and I got to talk to her still because she got that crown basket, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she still has it. She's waiting because I don't drink, but I do drink the day before Thanksgiving. So I think she's holding on to that for me to. Yeah, so that's where we're gonna open it up.
So you and I the day before Thanksgiving.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. We got to get all the black people
in Dover.
Yeah, we got to get Tiffany Fox from the YMCA.
We'll try to come up with a list.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, hopefully, COVID restrictions, we're good now.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't think we're going backwards. Yeah, hopefully not. I'm tired of it.
I saw an interview today. Novak Djokovic, the great tennis player, just came out about his
vaccine
status. And I'm not going to get into that, and we probably can't even say it on YouTube, so you might have to bleep bleep, call it the bang bang. I think one of the YouTube people I watch, they call it the bang bang. I think it's just it's crazy that it's become such a big deal, and I feel like this is kind of leading into the next question I want to ask you. Just where are we being led to by our leaders, whether that be state level, federal level? Like, do you feel like we're going in a good direction? Do you feel like there needs to be some change? Do you feel like their hearts are in the right place? They just aren't executing in the right manner? Like,
I have no clue. I don't. I seriously don't, because I've spoke to Governor DeWine before, and I would like to think that he wants to take us in the right direction, but I still think there's still so many questions, even 2 years in, about COVID.
Yeah. I mean, and we've never really dealt with any, like, it's not like you prepare to deal with something like this.
Yeah. And then you've got Biden, who took over for Trump, but then Trump is the one who set up the vaccine, but then Biden is the one who rolled out the vaccine. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere near a political office right now. I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me to run the country. You can barely pay me to run my office. Okay, let alone the country.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine some of the decisions that people have to make left or right side of the aisle right now.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we kind of, we think about a situation where maybe you see a homeless person, or maybe you see someone struggling. Mm-hmm. If you put yourself in their shoes, then you get a kind of a better understanding, and you can kind of, have some form of empathy, and you understand what they're in. But I feel like when it's the other way around, when you look at someone like at a higher stature, like a pro athlete or someone running the country, I'm not trying to make any excuses for anyone, and I'm not, like I said, I'm staying neutral on all this, especially on air. You gotta kind of think, like, what would you do in their shoes? Because it's easy for us to say, oh, for the peanut gallery, like, oh, this is bad. This is, this just happened. But it's tough. It's a tough thing to do. That's why there isn't that many that have been presidents of the United States. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's rough. It's a rough job. And I think we need, as people, just need to understand that let's just empathize a little bit more with whoever's leading our country or our state, or our town, whatever it is, and just we gotta just understand. They're humans.
I've asked that question before. I have posed that question on my radio show.
Okay,
crickets, because nobody knows what to say. They want to say, oh well, the gas prices are this high because of Biden, or whatever. back in 2020 they were low. I'm like, well, back in 2020, you weren't allowed to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, they were very low then.
No one was using gas.
Yeah. No one was using gas. But it's like, if you were the president of the United States, what would you do? Nobody will answer it. Nobody will answer the question.
No, nobody wants to, but they want to criticize.
Yeah. But it's easy to criticize. And I mean, this world, not just America, this world thrives off of drama.
Yeah.
They do.
That's true.
They do. And there are people who are so far left who they'll vote for anyone. Then there's people who are so far right that they'll vote for whoever it is, as long as they're saying that they're a patriot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that there's that political divide. And it's been like that for 5-6 years now.
It's exhausting.
I got when I went to NBC in NBC in Steubenville, I got hired the day after the inauguration of Trump.
Okay.
So you can imagine what my media experience has been like.
Yeah.
I don't have any, if I was working in the media 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't be hated by some people the way that they dislike me now.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, I started working in this phase of fake news.
Yeah.
The media's the enemy and stuff. And still to this day, we get that. And it's no fun. It's no fun. Most of those people won't even have a conversation with you.
Well, that's kind of how it is, though. One bad apple can just ruin everything and just destroy the trust that we have, or the vision, or the perception we have of any type of, if you're part of a crowd and one person in that crowd screws the pooch, then we all suffer. And I think it's not fair.
It's not fair at all.
But life isn't fair.
And it's like police. There's that one bad apple who now, for some reason, it makes all the police look bad. Journalists are the same way. I'll be real. You watch CNN if you're far left. You love CNN. If you're far right, you're watching Fox News.
Yeah.
And there is Tucker Carlson with Fox News, who, if you're a conspiracist or whatever, you love watching him because he aligns to your ideas. But then with CNN, there's Don Lemon, for example. What are we doing? Like, you guys aren't having conversations. You're just talking heads. You're bashing whoever you don't like. That's not journalism.
No.
That is not journalism at all.
But going to the site when something happens, or speaking to people who are involved in the situation and learning, from their point of view, what happened, that's what news is. And I think that's why you get the following you have, and people, support you in the way they do. And, that people actually are okay. I feel like at some point people are just like, all right, if someone says something like, oh, did you hear about the fire? Oh, let's go to Jordan's page.
Yeah, and it is that way before. I've seen people out in public on my page, which is very weird. Very weird. But that's a sense of gratitude that in this area, which I'm going to be honest, this is one of those areas that I feel as though has not trusted the media in a while.
Yep.
The reception that I've gotten has been great. And there are people who are like, oh, well, we don't like Jordan Miller. But in the same exact breath, they have followed it up with, but there's no one else in the area who covers our community or local news the way he does. Most backhanded compliment anyone could ever give me, but I'll take it. I will.
Yeah. I mean, you got to. But, man, I feel like this has been, a good discussion, man. I appreciate this. I would love to have you back another time. No telling when, but just say, hey, Jordan, we haven't had you back on in a while. You want to come on? But
preferably not a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been a while. That's been a while.
It has been a while.
You never know. I may have a podcast down the road.
Oh, okay.
You just never know.
Let us know. Because the thing I always think is pretty cool with YouTube is you never know. Say my podcast blows up. Then YouTube will start throwing older videos up. So if you get a podcast, I'll put that in the description of, the older videos that we do. So I always try to do that. I try to go back and update the stuff as much as I can. Josh, don't go check anything. But no, I think that's pretty, like, because I got asked by a close friend, like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. Would you be upset? I'm like, no, what can I do? Like, no, do your thing, man. I would love for that to happen. Like, and I was like, man, come on, do your thing. Why do I put off that aroma where I'm gonna be like, bro, don't do no podcast. You're gonna interrupt with my stuff. Like, we're not the same people. We have, different ideas. Sometimes we have different interests, and our content's different. So, I just sit here and talk to people and try to learn everything I can and pretend that, I'm trying to teach the audience stuff. So that's what I do. That's not what you gonna do.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we'll see.
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I don't want to, you can do whatever you want.
No, I'm kidding. I'm actually coming for you.
Okay.
And in my second life, I was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
No, but yeah, maybe. I mean,
That's what's up. It's fun, man. I want you. That would be awesome if you had a podcast, because I think podcasts kind of, like, we know it blew up, and I think it's just, I love that type of content, especially like this. What we did, it was just, yes, I had questions, but then we kind of didn't do any of them. So
Hey.
I mean, we started off on track, and then we kind of.
But I mean, having a conversation, that's more real than going on script.
True.
Yeah, I've learned that plenty of times.
I mean, and you saw me when I was in your studio trying to do a voiceover.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, I didn't.
That was rough.
It took me about 12, 13, 15,
but
25
it's so
times.
much harder. If I try to go off a script, I'm not as good. Let me fly off at the mouth and just hope I don't say the wrong thing, because I have to be credible.
Yeah.
But it's,
And sometimes you're live.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we haven't got there yet. Josh was all about it. Now he's like, no, let's pull it back.
No, live is a whole nother beast.
Yeah, let's pull it back a little
Live
bit. I
is a
must have
whole
been
nother
saying
beast.
some stuff where Josh is like, all right, maybe we shouldn't do live.
Live is a whole nother beast. But I don't want to give the house away, but you could do live and then have a phone number that people call in.
I know. And that's when you said that, I was like, oh, that would be cool.
I'm just saying.
That's why I want to listen to you. So you're 10 to 12, your show. Let's make sure we get all your stuff out the way, so we show how to follow Jordan. If you aren't, most likely my listeners are, but if you aren't following Jordan, the Facebook page, we're going to put all that in the description. But I want to make sure, how do we, because we can't really put in the description on your radio show unless you turn that into a podcast already.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would we listen to it? You said it was 14.
Yeah. So
1480?
WHBC 1480 AM.
See, look at me. Numbers just stick in my head.
From 10 to noon. So Monday through Friday. I have a lot of fun, and I've got a great team there at WHBC. So that's 10 to noon, Monday through Friday. And then on Facebook, there's Jordan Miller News, which I'm on. And Twitter and Instagram are both J_Miller TV.
Okay.
And I just try to keep it universal, something people can easily remember.
And your website is
jordanmiller.news.
Okay.
So you can go there, and there's tabs for Stark County, Carroll County, Tuscarawas County, and you can get all the news you need there, sports as well, and then we also have national and state news. So if people do want to get some big news happening, maybe up towards Cleveland or maybe Columbus, just head to the state tab there and you'll be able to get it. And then also, before we go, I got that new newspaper.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you a couple, though, before I wrap up. But yeah, I got a new newspaper that serves the Minerva, Malvern, Waynesburg, Magnolia, East Canton area. Okay. And it's been pretty good.
That's what's up.
My subscribers are through the roof.
That's what's
very
up.
Much more than expected, but down the road, we'll see if I can grow any. So we'll see.
And I love, I'm not one of those people that are like going home like, dang, Jordan's doing so well, man. Like, I hope he's just.
There are people like that.
I know.
I have competitors who will not talk to me.
Wow.
That's fine. That's fine, because I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I like to talk, and
I hate talking.
It shows more about them to refuse. I'm like, all right, woman, you're like 60, 65, and you've been in the media industry 30, 35 years. I'm 25. There's no reason to be intimidated.
Yeah.
There's not.
You just made me feel old saying you're only 25. That's great.
Yeah, and then now you're going to be going home pouting to your wife.
Now I'm gonna definitely go home like, dang, Jordan only 25.
Yes. No, but I like, there's no reason to be intimidated. I just have a talent of being able to connect with people, reach people, and use social media. I didn't go to college, but I study every day, it feels like.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is terrible to say, but I've learned so much more with just independent study than I have in educational system.
You too.
I will say definitely college, because that's not always on Ball State's fault, because when I'm 18 to 21, who's worried about school?
I still think it's crazy that like all my friends are teachers. My wife is a teacher. And I didn't go to college, but when she was in college a couple years ago, wrapping up, and we're out having fun, partying, doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing. And it was like partway through their senior year, I was like, this is the time of life that you have to choose what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That is. But that's also what we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Some people handle the college experience better than others. Some people, though.
True.
I heard a story recently about someone with like a 0.05. 0.05.
You got to try to do that. You have to try. Right. You have to be on a mission to not do anything. Because I feel like, I want to say my last year was my worst year. I got a 2.2, and I literally felt like I didn't do any work. I was literally coming home, and it wasn't like I'm getting drafted. I know I am, so I'm not going to do any work. It was literally, I was just exhausted. I'm like, man, I'm tired of school. I'm tired of everything. So I'm just going to chill. And I ended up with a 2.2, and I feel like I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So 0.05,
yeah.
You really just got to feel like,
I mean, do you just not show up to class? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, whatever. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I'm glad, though, I didn't go to college because, oh, man. I mean, I have friends when I was at Channel 3 in Cleveland. We made decent money, and I'd be like, let's go out. Let's go out. It was like Friday night, go out downtown Cleveland. That's where we worked. They're like, I can't. They said, I don't have the money. I said, as much money as you're getting paid, you don't have the money to go out for 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Like, no, I just have my student loans come out. Some of these people are paying $600-700 a month. I'm like, wow, you're paying rent.
Yeah.
You were paying rent. And I would never tell people don't go to college.
Yeah, true.
But assess what you want to do for a living.
True.
If you can maybe take cheaper courses or start when you're in high school, looking stuff up on YouTube.
Yeah, this young woman at my church who's now in college, she had her associates when she graduated.
Yeah.
She only has to go to school for 2 years. And I'm like, that's the play.
Yeah.
But, man, it's always a pleasure talking to the Jordan Miller, man. Next time we'll have to do the Fast 9 questions. Look at Josh roll his eyes.
No.
I feel like Jordan can do Fast 9.
It depends. You have to explain to me what Fast 9 is.
We will. Next time we have him in the show, before this year's over, we'll have you back on the show, and that gives me a lot of window, a lot of room to move and operate and try to figure out the schedule. But no, I plan on getting a lot of different guests, and but I want to have stuff scheduled out at least 6 months. So
I can't blame you.
I'll be reaching out to you soon, and we scheduled this early, so obviously I'll do that. I'll do that. Reminder like, hey, Jordan, what I'm saying, show's coming up. What's going on? So, like I said, man, you're doing big things.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be in your presence. And
likewise.
And man, appreciate you coming on the show.
All right. Thanks for having me, Percy.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys listening. I always forget to do this. Like, subscribe, help us out. It's free, easy, click, tap, whatever device you're on, do that. A like will help us in the algorithm. It'll help us shoot and getting more in front of more eyes. We want to do that because I feel like this was a great show that could help somebody, maybe in this area, maybe outside the area. You never know. So make sure you go ahead, like, subscribe. Also, check out Subway. Download the app. They got deals all the time. Don't be afraid to order and do a pickup because it'll help the local stores. So Thank you to the Subway and the Fitzgerald family for sponsoring this podcast and making it possible. Thank you, Josh, for everything you do. All right. You're a superstar. And if you haven't subscribed to the Dogs podcast, go do that too. I'm a Steelers fan, though. Anyway, peace. It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water. Say me Casa Sucasa. It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. She be on that Henny. I like that Corona. I love her smell.